Welcome to the quiz show that demands nothing less than perfection. Behind this screen, the 4 contestants will be hoping their knowledge is flawless because one single mistake could give the game away. This is perfection. Hello and welcome to Perfection, the quiz show where only perfect play is good enough. Behind me are the contestants. We call them the usual suspects. They're in our isolation room. In a moment, we'll find out which one of them has been randomly selected to join me here to play Perfection. They will then face a series of true or false statements. For example, if I said John Coltrane was a celebrated saxophone player, would you say that's true or false? Well, if you'd said true, I can tell you you'd be right. Answering true or false might seem easy, but if the contestant gets a single answer wrong, their opponents, the usual suspects, will be allowed into the game to capitalise on their mistakes. Each usual suspect will play a maximum of 8 games, so they'll need to think carefully and strategically about how to play the perfect game and when to come down to help. So you know how the game works, let's meet the usual suspects.
Hello, my name's Simon. I'm from Peterborough. I'm a writer, and this is my first game.
Hi, I'm Tony. I live in Newport, South Wales. I'm an insurance claims handler, and this is my 3rd game.
Hi, I'm Rebecca. I'm from Gateshead. I'm a fees clerk in a barrister's chambers, and this is my 3rd game.
Hi, I'm Josh. I'm from Salford. I'm a bar manager, and this is my 4th game.
Best of luck to all as we now find out which one of you has been randomly picked to play Perfection. Josh, it's you. Please come down and join me. Josh, welcome to the show, and welcome to the game, rather. You've been on the show a while now as the usual suspect. And you're following in the family line, which is...
Yeah, well, my granddad's owned pubs and clubs throughout Manchester and Salford kind of most of his life. So I'm just helping him run that, and hopefully I'll get my own place in a few years.
And you play a bit of Perfection in the pub, I hear.
We do, yeah. Well, I got Perfection on one of them, and then got urged to go on the show. And here we are.
So you applied and here you are?
Yeah.
Magic. So they're all probably in the pub now watching. And
Oh, I can guarantee
you're also
it.
a bit of a keen photographer?
Yeah, true.
And a filmmaker?
Yeah, amateur filmmaker, but yeah, I'm getting there.
Well, look, Josh, it's now you versus the usual suspects. They were your teammates, they're now your enemies. Their job is to stop you from winning the prize fund because, of course, your failure will mean the prize money rolls over to the next game where one of them could be down here playing for a bigger total. Now, every game on Perfection is worth £1,000. Here's the great news for you. No one's won the last 4 games, so the prize fund currently stands at £5,000.
We can do that, mate.
So do you have a plan for what you're going to do with the 5,000?
I'd like to help people less fortunate than myself, so that maybe some homeless people, but I'll do it in a way that will make a nice little video as well.
So you'll make something that will raise the profile
Yeah.
of homelessness and things like
Yeah,
that
of
too?
course, yeah.
Oh, good for you. Well done. All right, then, here's how the game works. You'll play 3 rounds and then a final. Every round that you achieve perfection will make the final easier for you. If, however, your performance is anything less than perfect, the usual suspects here will have a chance to step in and steal the round, making the final harder. More of that to follow later. Our usual suspects, we're going to switch you off for now so you can't see or hear anything. Josh, when they're like this, you can talk through your answers without giving away any vital knowledge, OK?
Yeah.
Each round consists of 4 true or false statements. You'll be answering against the clock. You'll have 45 seconds, and once you've given an answer, your first answer, it will be locked in.
Yeah.
You ready?
Yep, let's go for it.
Then let's play Perfection. Round 1, your 45 seconds start now. Eric Carle wrote The Very Hungry Caterpillar.
We'll go false with that one, Nick.
False. The actress Keely Hawes married James Purefoy in 2004.
Not too sure, but we'll go true on that one.
True. The M25 is 405 miles long.
Yeah, we'll have a point. We'll go true for that one as well.
True. And finally, a traditional Cumberland sausage is long and curly.
No, we'll go false for that one, Nick.
False. All right, so there you go. You've answered all 4 statements. How did that feel? Confident?
Not too confident.
All right, Josh, let's find out what the usual suspects think of your answers. So here are the 4 statements, and next to them are Josh's answers. Rebecca, has he achieved perfection?
A, I would change to true. And also D, the Cumberland sausage. I can see that's a spiral shape traditionally and very long, so I'd change that to true as well.
Tony?
I am with Rebecca on this one. However, I do think C is a bit questionable as well.
Simon?
A and D are certainly both true. The only one I've got a problem with is B. I know she was married to someone before meeting Matthew McFadden on Spooks, but it's like, was it 2004, was it 2003?
All right, then, Josh, the moment of truth. According to the usual suspects, you haven't got any of them right.
No.
Let's see exactly how many are correct. Oh, it's not going anywhere. In actual fact, the usual suspects are right. If you'd have just got one statement correct, then the usual suspects would actually have to find the missing answers to win the round.
Yep.
But usual suspects, there's no point in asking you to change the answers because we know all 4 are wrong. So let's fill in the usual suspects' answers, which are the exact opposite of Josh's. There you go. True, false, false, true. And usual suspects, by default, you have achieved perfection. Let's take a look through them, shall we? Eric Carle wrote The Very Hungry Caterpillar, and as Rebecca said, that's actually not false. It is, in fact, true. The actress Keely Hawes married James Purefoy in 2004. That is, in fact, false. She married her Spooks co-star, Matthew McFadden. OK, the M25 is 405 miles long. That is, of course, false. It's a lot less than that. It's 117 miles long. A traditional Cumberland sausage is curly and long, and that is, in fact, true, as Rebecca again pointed out. So, usual suspects, you now have the opportunity to make Josh's chances of winning the prize fund much harder in the final. Let's take a look at Josh's final board. These 6 blank spaces need to be filled with subject categories. Here are your final round categories. Starting with the Italian job, running through Europe, flags, and on to Scotland, with many more in between. Now, if you'd have won the round, you'd have the opportunity of adding 2 categories of your choice to the board. But because the usual suspects automatically won that round, they choose the 2 categories, hoping to make things more difficult for you in the final. So, which 2 would you like?
Kind of looking at lifeboats.
And the press, because I work in it.
Both of those, I think they're probably quite difficult. Yes,
Yeah.
Nick, could we please put through lifeboats and the press?
Lifeboats and the press both go into the final. Congratulations, usual suspects. You've won the first round. Time to switch you off, and we'll see you in round 2. Let's have a little chat about this list whilst it's here.
Yeah.
Which will be the first 2 that you pick when you win a round?
Well, I'll probably go for flags, but I'll go for Scotland too.
And 2 that you're quite keen to avoid?
Anything to do with history, so 13th century and Cork. But I'm quite pleased with the ones they've actually given me, so...
That's handy.
So it's not too bad.
There you go. So it was a disaster after all, was it, really?
Yeah.
OK, Josh, it's only the first round. You still have 2 more chances to get perfection and choose your own categories for the final. You ready to carry on?
Yeah.
Put that last one behind you?
Yeah, of course.
Jolly good. Let's play round 2. Your 45 seconds starts now. The word Pilates is Greek for stretching.
You'll go true for that one.
True.
Yeah.
There are great white sharks in the Mediterranean.
No, we'll go false with that one, I'm pretty sure.
False. Charlie Hull became a tennis professional at 17.
I'm not too sure, so we'll go false with that one again, please.
False. And finally, New York's Juilliard School trains architects.
Again, I'm not too sure, but we'll go true for that one.
True.
Yeah.
And with that, you've answered all 4. They're not falling for you at the moment, are they?
No, I'm hoping for better than 0 anyway.
Yeah, which would give a false impression to people, I think, just tuning in for the first time today. Because whilst you've been a usual suspect, you've been the font of all knowledge and been doing really well in terms of picking the answers. You just seem to be getting some really tough ones, and I think that's a very tough board. But how well have you done? Well, before we find out, let's have a chat with the usual suspects and see what they say about it.
Okay.
So, usual suspects, these were the 4 statements, and next to them again, Josh's answers. Tony, what do you think this time?
The only one that I'm not sure about is C.
Simon?
It's C, again, that I'm not sure of.
Rebecca?
D, I thought Juilliard was a school of art, so I would probably change D.
All right then, Josh, the moment of truth. Let's find out how many are correct.
Improvement.
Well, it is better than before, as you quite rightly point out, Josh. Can the usual suspects steal the round off you? Let's go across and find out, shall we? You need to change 3 answers, usual suspects. Which 3?
Well, I would change D because I do think that's school of
yeah.
art.
C, then.
Yeah, I didn't know about that one at all.
I
Great
don't know.
whites, they get quite a long way. They've been trapped all over the place.
Yeah, true, but then is Pilates, is that kind of throwing
That
us
kind
like
of makes
Plato
sense,
or something?
doesn't it? But
It's the sharks one that's got me, actually. Only because sharks don't tend to go in warm water.
Ah,
they go to Australia. We definitely changed C and D. We're all happy with that. And then I said, well, it seems like it's a toss-up. Seeing as there's any doubt with B, should we change the bottom 3?
Yeah, I'd be happy with that.
Hi, Nick. Could we change B, C, and D, please?
B changes from false to true, C changes from false to true, D changes from true to false, leaving A as answered by Josh. All right, usual suspects, let's find out what the correct answers are. The word Pilates is Greek for stretching. Is that true or false? It's false, usual suspects. That's one of the ones you needed to change. Pilates is named after its inventor, Joseph Pilates. So can you still achieve perfection at home? Let's go through the rest of them, shall we? There are great white sharks in the Mediterranean. Is that true or false? Yeah, that is actually true. And I was with you, Tony. I thought they didn't go into warm water, but there you go, just goes to show. Charlie Hull became a tennis professional at 17. True or false? False. In actual fact, she won her first pro golf tournament before she was 18. New York's Juilliard School trains architects. True or false? False. Performing arts, actually, Rebecca. Well, you said arts, didn't you?
Yeah, well, I wasn't sure about the specifics, but yeah.
Usual suspects, so you failed to achieve perfection on that account. Let's take a look at Josh's final board. 2 categories chosen by the usual suspects, but nobody was prepared to win round 2. So what happens to the 2 categories? Will they get carried over to the next round, where there will be 4 categories on offer? So, usual suspects, we're going to switch you off, but we'll see you later in round 3. Tough first round, tough second round, so tough in fact that they couldn't even take advantage of it to sort it out. So you're in a position now with round 3 that if you can win this one, you get to choose 4 categories.
Yeah, it can only get better.
Yeah, exactly right. Ready to play on?
Yeah.
Let's play round 3. Your 45 seconds starts now. Eddie Izzard was president of Cambridge Footlights.
Go false for that one, please, Nick.
False. Panettone is a type of pasta shaped like a shell.
I am not too sure. We'll go false for that one.
False.
Again, please, Nick.
Silvio Berlusconi has been found guilty of tax fraud.
Yeah, true. Definitely true for that one.
True. And finally, wolves were reintroduced to Scotland in 2013.
I feel like I've seen that somewhere. I'm not sure though. We'll go false for that one, Nick.
False. And you've answered all 4 statements. That actually sounded and felt a lot more comfortable. Give it a chance?
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Well, let's bring back the usual suspects and see if they can pick any holes in your answers. So here are the 4 statements once again, and Josh's answers, and it's Simon's turn to start us off. So how's he done?
I'm a bit unsure of A and D.
A and D you're unsure of. Tony?
I'm probably going to say D, I think, is wrong. I'm pretty confident with that one.
Rebecca?
I do have a doubt about D.
Okay. Josh, the moment of truth. Need to have answered all 4 statements perfectly to have won the round. Let's find out how many are correct. Congratulations, Josh, you have achieved perfection. Came bouncing back and scored 4 out of 4 there and achieved perfection. Good for you. Let's go through them in more detail, shall we? Eddie Izzard was president of the Cambridge Footlights. You said it was false, and of course it is false. He actually went to Sheffield, but never completed the course. He was never in Cambridge, all part of the Footlights. Panettone is a type of pasta shaped like a shell. You said that was false, and of course it is false. It's a bread, cake type thing, usually eaten around Christmas.
Oh, okay.
Silvio Berlusconi has been found guilty of tax fraud, and of course, that's absolutely true. And finally, wolves were reintroduced to Scotland in 2013. Now, you said yourself, I think I've heard something about this, but I don't think it happened. And of course, it is false. They have had many schemes put forward to reintroduce wolves to Scotland, but they've never actually gone through with it. So keep your eyes peeled when you go up to Scotland on a visit. Josh, as a result of that perfect performance, you've made winning the prize fund a lot easier. Let's take a look at your final board. That was a good one to win, actually, because nobody won the second round. So as a result, you get to choose 4 categories for the final now, 2 that rolled over from the second round and the 2 that you just won in round 3.
Okay, we'll have flags in there first. Please,
Flags
Nick.
goes
Yeah.
in.
We'll go pies.
Pies.
Yeah.
Who doesn't like a pie?
Scotland as well.
Scotland
Yeah.
goes in, and you get to choose 1 more.
We'll go for fears, please, Nick.
Go for fears. Okay, fears goes into the final. We now know our 6 final categories. They are lifeboats, the press, flags, pies, Scotland, and fears. Usual suspects. He fought back well there, didn't he, from a very difficult start?
Yeah, he did very well.
All right, listen, guys, time to switch you off. We'll see you in a little while. And of course, now you've chosen 4 of the 6 categories, and you did say when they chose the first 2, you quite like them as well.
Yeah.
You're a bit of a chance here, aren't you?
Yeah. Feeling good.
Yeah, Josh, for £5,000, it's time to play the final. Josh, this is the all-important final. If you could achieve perfection, you'll be leaving with a prize fund of £5,000, which would be very nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
If you fail, you'll be leaving with nothing, which would be great news for the usual suspects, as one of them could be playing for a rollover of £6,000 for the next game. So let's play the final round. Josh, here are your final 6 categories. Now, you must answer all 6 statements correctly if you want to win the £5,000. Think carefully. There's no time limit. But once you've given an answer, your first answer, it will be locked in. Let's reveal your first statement. Please tell me whether you believe it to be true or false. Lifeboats. The RNLI was formed in 1524.
No, we'll go false with that one, Nick.
False. The press. The world's oldest Sunday newspaper is The Observer.
I have a feeling it's one of the other major newspapers. So I'll go false with that one as well, please, Nick.
False. Flags. The red ensign is the current flag of the Royal Navy.
I'm sure it's more to do with blue. So we'll go false with that one as well. Please,
False?
Nick. Yeah.
Pies. Hominy pie has a vegetable and cheese filling.
Not really sure that, so I'll take a point. I'll say true for that one, please, Nick.
True. Scotland. The Pentland Firth lies between Scotland and Orkney.
Sounds like it could be right, so we'll go with true for that, please, Nick.
True. And finally, fears. Pogonophobia is the fear of chickens.
No, I feel like I would have heard the fear of chickens for some reason, so we'll go false for that one, please, Nick.
False. And with that, you've answered all 6 statements, and those answers are locked in. Remember, if there's one single mistake, you leave with nothing. Which ones are you worried about?
I'd say all of them apart from B.
Really?
Really, yeah.
A tough board again, yeah?
Yeah.
Let's bring back the usual suspects and see what they have to say. Usual suspects, you can now see the final 6 statements, and next to them are Josh's answers. Josh, your answers are now locked in. You can't change them by yourself, but if you think you've made a mistake, you can unlock the board with the help of the usual suspects. This will, of course, come at a cost. Usual suspects, I'm now going to ask you to tell me how well you think Josh has done, if you want to help, and if you do, how much it will cost him. So, Josh, who would you like to hear from first?
I'd like to hear from Simon first, please, Nick.
I think you might have one wrong, but I'm not confident enough to help, I'm afraid.
Tony, please.
There are 1 or 2 there that I think you've got wrong, but I'm not overly confident myself, so I don't think I can help you today, I'm sorry.
Okay, and Rebecca, there's 2 that I'm not sure of. The rest I'm feeling fine with. I'm just wondering, how do you feel about that?
There is one that I'm very confident you've got wrong. I might consider coming to talk it out with you, but I'm afraid I'd be looking to take most of your money. I'd be looking for 4.5.
Like I said, there is only 2 that I am unsure of.
Well, what would you suggest?
£2,000?
Make it 3 in my favour, 2 in yours, and I'll come down and we can have a chat.
I'll accept Rebecca's offer then.
You go with that?
Yeah.
OK, so for £3,000 of the £5,000, Rebecca, come down and join us. OK, Josh, you've asked Rebecca for help. If you achieve perfection, it will cost you £3,000 of your potential prize fund of £5,000.
Yeah.
Rebecca, you've now forfeited your chance to play in the next game.
Yes.
This is your only shot at winning perfection. Here are the final round statements. You might want to say hello to each other. And also,
Hello.
there's a reason why you're so determined to get more money. There's an urgency.
There's a certain something happening in a couple of months, yes.
Yes, which is why your hand is
Yes.
just there on your bump.
Yes.
So 2 months in 2 months' time?
Well, a little bit longer than that. I'm halfway through.
Oh, you're halfway through
Halfway
it?
through, yeah.
Wow, OK. So this is where it stands. 6 answers are now unlocked. You said there were a couple that you were worried about. You might want to talk about those.
D, hominy
I
pie,
was hoping you would say that.
I have a gut feeling has rabbit in it.
Okay, well, I had no clue of that one whatsoever. For me, it sounded like it would be some kind of vegetarian dish.
That's the one that I was confident I'd change that I was talking about.
Okay. I'll be
Yeah.
happy to change the...
I heard it, I thought rabbit, I'd change it, yeah.
Okay, yeah, we'll go for that.
What was the other one that you were really not sure
Well, we'll
on?
go from top to bottom. The RNLI was formed in 1524. I thought it was a bit too early to have
Yeah, I
it.
thought that perhaps that was a bit of a long time ago. With the newspapers, what did you think about that one?
Well, I'm sure it was the one that went bust recently.
I thought that.
I'd find
Yeah.
a false with that one. And the red
Do
navy
you know
flag.
that one?
Yeah, I'm sure we had a do at the pub. For that one, I'm pretty sure that is false, that one.
Yeah, okay.
E is a stab in the dark.
I didn't know this one
No.
at all. It's going to be a first of some description between
yeah.
them, isn't it? You get the first of fourth, that's what the Forth Road Bridge goes over. I'd be inclined to
okay.
just stick with true and hope that
Okay.
Pentland's where it is.
Yeah, okay.
Um,
And I'm sure I've seen somewhere that isn't the phobia of chickens.
what do you think it's the phobia of? Any idea?
I'm not too sure. I feel like I would have known it if it was chickens.
So we're going to change D.
Yeah, and the rest we'll go for.
The rest I wasn't 100% certain on, as in that I wouldn't have definitely changed them. I'm happy to keep them as they are.
All right, then Nick, we'll change D from true to false then, please.
D changes from true to false. Yeah, so all the rest stay as they are.
Yeah.
All right, let's get those in. Your answers are now locked in. £5,000 at stake, £2,000 to Josh, £3,000 to Rebecca. 6 answers away. Let's find out if you've achieved perfection. Well, usually in these circumstances, what we like to do is find out whether the person coming down has benefited or taken away. So let's start with that, shall we? We start with the Homity Pie question, really. Homity Pie has a vegetable and cheese filling. Now, Josh, you thought this was right. It sounded like a vegetarian-style name of a pie, is what you said.
Yeah.
However, Rebecca thought you should change this one. This is the one she came down to change because you think it might have rabbit in it. A Homity Pie has a vegetable and cheese filling. You need this to turn red because you changed it to false. Hope you get off to a good start. Is it true or false?
I'm sorry.
It's true. Obviously, you're not going to achieve perfection and you're not going to go home with any money. I wonder whether you can achieve perfection at home. So let's have a look. The Penland Firth lies between Scotland and Orkney. You weren't sure, Josh, but you thought it sounded right. Rebecca confirmed that a firth, you get the Firth of Forth, etc., so it would make sense if it was a firth. So you stuck with true. Is it true or false? Yeah, it's true. Pogonophobia is the fear of chickens. Now, Josh, you thought it didn't sound like fear of chickens. You weren't sure what it was, but you thought you'd have heard of it if it was chickens. So you went with false. Pogonophobia is the fear of chickens. Is it true or false? Yeah, it's false. It's an abnormal fear of beards.
Really?
Yeah. So let's go back up the top. The RNLI was formed in 1524. Josh, you thought this was too early. Rebecca agreed. You said false. Is that true or false? That is false. Formed in 1824. Righto, the world's oldest Sunday newspaper is The Observer. You said this was false because you thought it might be the one that closed down, the News of the World, I presume you were talking about. You thought maybe that was the oldest. If this turns red, you're one away from having had the perfect board before the mistake. However, I guess we're both hoping now that we're all hoping it turns green, aren't we?
I really am.
Yeah. The world's oldest Sunday newspaper is The Observer. You said false. Is it true or false? It's true.
Oh, okay. Feel better.
Thank goodness.
You've got to feel better about that now.
I do. I feel slightly less guilty now.
It has just taken the edge off a little bit for you, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Let's move on. The red ensign is the current flag of the Royal Navy. You said false, and Rebecca was happy to stick with that. Is it true or false? That is false. In fact, it's the white ensign.
Oh, okay.
But certainly you were absolutely right about that. So at the end of the day, you had 5 out of 6, Josh, before the change was made, so you wouldn't have taken home any cash on your own. You ended up with 4 out of 6, which again isn't bad at all. Usual suspects, great news for you. The prize fund rolls over to the next game where one of you could be playing for a total of £6,000. That's something of a roller coaster for you, that, Josh, wasn't it? That game, the rounds, and then the final. And very tough for you, Rebecca, because I think your heart was going for a little while there, wasn't it?
It was worth a go, though.
It was
Definitely worth a go.
Well, Josh, Rebecca, you failed to achieve perfection, which means you go home with nothing cash-wise, but with our love. Didn't they play well, ladies and gentlemen? Josh and Rebecca. Right, time to meet the next usual suspects, hoping to play perfection today. Usual suspects, please introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Kevin. I'm from Chester and I'm an IT project manager.
Hi, my name's Katie. I'm from Manchester and my occupation is a job coach.
Best of luck to all of you as we now find out which one of you has been randomly picked to play perfection. Katie, it's you in fact. Please come down and join me. Katie, welcome to the game. Most people think they'd like to play a few games as a usual suspect, and now you find yourself straight in playing for a game.
Yeah, I didn't expect it, so it's happened very suddenly.
All right, well, take a good look at those guys up there because it's a girl versus all the boys now.
It is, yeah.
Just
I like
realised
it.
they were your teammates, but they are very definitely your enemies now. Here's the good news, that nobody's won the last 5 games, so the prize fund currently stands at £6,000. So what would you do with the £6,000?
I'd like to fix my car, so I'd get my car fixed.
What's wrong with the car?
I crashed it last year and it's got scratches all over it and I've not managed to fix it as yet, but I'll get that done.
OK.
Go on a nice holiday somewhere and pay off my overdraft.
Best of luck then. All right,
Thank
look,
you.
3 rounds and a final to come. Usual suspects, we're going to switch you off for now so you can't see or hear anything, but as soon as Katie makes a mistake, you'll be back in the game. You ready to get started?
I am, yes.
Then let's play perfection. Round 1, your 45 seconds starts now. Emma Hamilton was the mistress of Francis Drake.
Oh. Say that's false.
False. A solenoid is a long, tight coil of wire.
I've never heard of a solenoid. I'll go with true.
True. Foolscap paper was named after jesters' hats.
Fool and the Jester, something, I don't know, makes me think that that's true.
True. And
Yeah.
finally, Solange Knowles had a UK hit with Lift Me Up.
I'd say false.
False. Good use of the time to have a think through all of those, and you've answered all four. How was that?
Quite difficult, actually. I'm not confident on that round.
Nonetheless, you've answered all four. Before we tell you exactly how well you've done, let's have a chat with the usual suspects. So these are the four statements, and next to them are Katie's answers. Tony, has she achieved perfection?
In this one, Nick, I actually do think she has achieved perfection.
Simon, can you see anything wrong with these answers?
B, I think a tight coil of wire is part of a solenoid. It's not the complete solenoid. I think there's a core in there.
All right, Kevin?
I changed D to true because I think Solange Knowles did have a minor hit, and I think it might have been called Lift Me Up.
All right, Katie, the moment of truth. You need to have answered all four statements perfectly to have won the round. Let's find out how many are correct. Congratulations, Katie, you have achieved perfection.
Shocked.
Let's have a look at those answers in more detail, shall we? Emma Hamilton was the mistress of Francis Drake. You said that was false, and of course it is false because she was the mistress of Lord Nelson. A solenoid is a long, tight coil of wire. You said this was true, and of course it is true. Foolscap paper was named after jesters' hats. You said this is true, and of course it is true. Solange Knowles had a UK hit with Lift Me Up. You said this was false, and it is false. It was the #1 hit for Jerry Halliwell. All right, Katie, as a result of that perfect performance, you've made winning the prize fund that much easier, and here's how. Appearing before you is your final board. These 6 blank spaces need to be filled with subject categories, and here are your final round categories. Starting with small pets, running through Africa, Frozen, and on to Sex and the City, with many more in between. Because you won the round, you've earned the right to choose 2 categories to add to the board. So which 2 would you like to play?
I love Sex and the City, so that's got to be up there.
Sex and the City goes in, and
It's got to be Small Pets, because I've got a cat called Gizmo.
Small Pets goes into the final as well. Usual suspects, you didn't get a look in there, really. We'll see you in round 2. So let's take a look at that list. Which 2 would you really like to avoid?
Africa and nature.
And the next 2 you'll be choosing?
Gossip and Italy.
All right, then. Well, the way to get those and avoid the nasty ones is to continue as you started and achieve perfection every time. Ready to carry on?
I am, yes.
Jolly good. Let's play round 2. Your 45 seconds start now. Ben and Casey Affleck have both won Oscars for acting.
I think Ben has. I'm not sure about Casey, so I'm going to go with false on that one.
False. Gateshead is on the south bank of the River Tyne.
I'm not sure, so I'm going to guess false.
False. Viognier is a grape variety that makes white wine.
I'll go with true on that one.
True. And finally, the artist Canaletto never left Venice.
True.
True. And with time to spare, you answered all 4. Well, that sounded more confident.
I feel the same as I did in round 1.
Oh, do you really? Okay.
Unsure.
Well, before we tell you how well you've done, let's bring back the usual suspects and see how they feel.
Okay.
Here are the 4 statements, and next to them are Katie's answers. And once again, I'm going to ask you if she's achieved perfection. Simon.
I think she might have done. I've got my suspicions about D.
All right. Kevin?
Not too sure, to be honest. I think if I was going to change any, it'd be B.
Tony, what do you think?
A, B, and C are good, but D I would change.
Okay, Katie, the moment of truth. Let's find out how many are correct. Just 2 out of 4 on this occasion. Can the usual suspects steal the round off you? They'll need to find the 2 answers that are wrong and change them. Off you go, usual suspects.
Are we happy with A and C? Do we think A and C
Yeah,
is right?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so it's
Swap.
B and D we need to change, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Nick, can we change B and D, please?
Yes, B changes from false to true, and D changes from true to false, leaving A and C as answered by Katie. All right, usual suspects, let's find out what the correct answers are. Ben and Casey Affleck have both won Oscars for acting. True or false? Yes, false, in actual fact. Ben has 2 Oscars, but neither for acting, interestingly. Casey's been nominated, but never actually won an Oscar. Gateshead is on the south bank of the River Tyne. True or false? Yes, that's true. So that was one of the right ones to change usual suspects. Well done. Viognier is a grape variety that makes white wine. True or false? Yes, that is true. So now you know what's the result of this is going to be, usual suspects. The artist Canaletto never left Venice. True or false? It's false. Congratulations, usual suspects. You have achieved perfection. In actual fact, the artist Canaletto lived in England for about 10 years. Well, Katie, the usual suspects have succeeded where you failed and they've stolen the round off you. You now have the opportunity, usual suspects, to make Katie's chances of winning the prize fund of £6,000 a little harder. Let's see the final board. Currently occupied by 2 subject categories chosen by Katie, but because you won that round, you get to choose the next 2. So what's it going to be, chaps?
Generals.
And Cronkite, whatever that
Don't know what that
is.
is.
That was one that jumped out to me, Cronkite, to be honest.
Yeah.
Happy with Cronkite and Generals?
Yeah.
Can we put Cronkite and Generals, please, Nick?
Cronkite goes into the final, and so does Generals. OK, usual suspects, well played. We'll see you in round 3. Cheerio. Cronkite.
Zero knowledge on Cronkite. I've never heard of it. And very limited knowledge on generals, so not very good.
Well, you never know until the question turns up. If you can return to form from the first round and
I'll
achieve
try.
perfection, we'll press on. Let's play round 3. Your 45 seconds start now. Cyan is a blue-green colour.
I've never heard of science. I'm going to say false on that one.
False. Fred Astaire's real surname was Austerlitz.
I've never heard of him, but something tells me it's true.
True. Jersey is larger by area than the Isle of Wight.
Pure guess, false.
False. And finally, a vicuña is a type of rabbit.
Well, that hare is a type of rabbit. I've never heard of the vicuña. False.
False. Good use of the time to think about it, but you looked a little uncomfortable.
I'm not too sure I've done on that one. Maybe 1 or 2.
All
We'll
right,
see.
let's bring back the usual suspects and see what they think. So once again, here are the 4 statements, and next to them are Katie's answers. Kevin, perfection this time?
I'd be tempted to change C.
You think C might be different. OK, Simon?
Yeah, same here. I'm thinking of the Bergerac title sequence with the, size of Jersey.
Tony?
And with these 2, however, I would also change A.
OK, Katie, the moment of truth. You need to have answered all 4 statements perfectly to have won the round. Let's see how many are correct. 3 out of 4, but it's not perfection. Once again, the usual suspects have a chance to steal if they can identify the one answer they need to change.
We all pretty much said C.
C, yeah, change C.
C? OK. C, we would change, please, Nick.
C changes from false to true, leaving A, B and D as answered by Katie. All right, usual suspects, let's find out what the correct answers are. Cyan is a blue-green colour. Is that true or false? It's true. That's the one you were looking for, usual suspects. It means you can't achieve perfection either. I wonder whether you can still achieve perfection at home. Let's have a look through the rest of these, shall we? Fred Astaire's real surname was Austerlitz. Is that true or false? Yeah, true in actual fact. Jersey is larger by area than the Isle of Wight. True or false? False. The Isle of Wight is 3 times larger. So there you go. A vicuña is a type of rabbit. True or false? Yeah, that's false. It's a South American mammal related to the llama, in actual fact. So, usual suspects, had you achieved perfection, you would now have the opportunity to make Katie's chances of winning the prize fund that little bit harder in the final, but you didn't. Let's have a look at the final board. 2 blank spaces left and no more rounds to play. So, what do we do? Well, the 2 blank spaces are filled by you taking it in turns. And Katie, as the single player, you get to go first. So, which subject category would you like to choose?
I'd like gossip, please, Nick.
Gossip goes into the final. And usual suspects, put your heads together and decide which other subject will make up our final list.
I was thinking measures.
I'd be happy with measures, actually, I think.
OK. Yeah, I think of that. Measures, please, Nick.
Measures makes it into the final. We now know our 6 final categories. They are Sex and the City, Small Pets, Cronkite, Generals, Gossip and Measures. Usual suspects, time to switch off for the final time. Did I hear you sigh when they said measures?
Yeah, it's not my strong point, to be honest, but, it's 50-50, so we'll see.
Yeah, you got a chance here, haven't you? I mean, you've got a few of your own choices in there, and with £6,000 on the board, it's got to be worth a try.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So, for £6,000, it's time to play the final. Katie, this is the all-important final. If you can achieve perfection, you could be leaving with a prize fund of £6,000. Of course, if you fail, you'll be leaving with nothing, which would be great news for the usual suspects, as one of them could be playing for a rollover of £7,000 on the next game. Let's play the final round. Katie, here are your final 6 categories. Now, you must answer all 6 statements correctly if you want to win the £6,000. Think carefully, there's no time limit. Once you've given an answer, your first answer, it will be locked in. You ready?
Yes, I am.
Then let's reveal your first statement. Please tell me whether you believe it to be true or false. Sex and the City. Sarah Jessica Parker was born in Liverpool.
Should know this. True.
True. Small pets. Florence Nightingale had a pet owl.
True.
True. Cronkite. Walter Cronkite was a famous physicist.
Never heard of him. False.
False. Generals. General Patton was nicknamed Old Blood and Guts.
True.
True. Gossip. Perez Hilton is Paris Hilton's younger sister.
False.
False. And finally, measures. A troy is a quarter of a gill.
False.
False. And with that, you've answered all 6 statements, and those answers are now locked in. If you've made one single mistake, you leave with nothing. Which ones are you worried about?
I think I know what I've made a mistake on.
Really? Which one?
A.
Okay, well, look, don't give too much away because we're going to bring back the usual suspects and see what they have to say. And if you do think you've made a mistake, remember there is always an opportunity to maybe open up the board if you can do a deal. Right, let's switch on the usual suspects. You can now see the 6 final statements, and next to them are Katie's answers. Katie, your answers are now locked in and you can't change them by yourself. But if you think you may have made a mistake, you can open the board with the help of the usual suspects. This will, of course, come at a cost. Katie, who would you like to hear from first?
I'd like to hear from Kevin, please, first, Nick.
I know that one answer is definitely wrong, but I've not got enough confidence in the other 5 to come down and help, so I'm going to take a back seat at this stage, but best of luck anyway.
Thank you. Can I hear from Tony, please?
There's 2 that I would change. I'm not overly confident on the rest, but I would probably come down for the right figure.
OK, I'd like to hear from Simon first, please.
I know one's definitely wrong, and the other I'm not too sure on, so I'm not confident to come down.
OK, what are you thinking, Tony?
For me to get out of this seat, it would have to be 4,000.
Tony would like 4,000 of your 6,000.
Make it a friendly game and go halves. Come on.
3.5 my way, 2.5 your way, and I'll come and see you.
Let's do 3.
I can't do 3.
3.5 and you've got a deal then.
Agreed.
Might as well.
Yes?
Yeah, definitely.
OK, Tony, for £3,500 of the £6,000 on offer, please come down and join us. OK, Katie, you've asked Tony for help. If you achieve perfection, it will cost you £3,500 of your potential prize fund of £6,000. Tony, you've now forfeited your chance to play on the next game. This is your only shot at winning perfection. Wonder if you've made the right decision. We're about to find out. We're talking about £6,000 between you. Here are the final round statements. 6 answers are now unlocked. Tony, which ones do you want Katie to change?
I want to ask, first of all, which ones you're actually confident with and see if it's the similar sort of trail that I was on.
I'm not confident with A. I think Kim Cattrall was born in Liverpool, not Sarah Jessica Parker, so I'd like to change that from true to false.
Yeah, OK.
And then I'll leave the rest to you because I'm not sure about the other ones.
So you want to change...
I'd like to change A from true to false.
Change A from true to false. Tony, didn't you say that you wanted to change 2 when you came down?
Yeah, C would be 1. Cronkite as a physicist rings a bell. Whether it was Walter Cronkite, I'm not sure. And the one I'm not sure of is F as Troy, as quarter of a gill. Again, it's not something that I'm wholly 100% on, but if it was me stood here, I would change that.
Yeah, so we'll change C from false to true, please, Nick.
C changes from false to true.
And then F
And
is
then-
what I would change.
F from false to true, please.
And F from false to true. And any more?
You happy with that?
Yeah.
Yep, we'll go with that then, please, Nick.
Lock the rest of them in as answered by Katie. Your answers are now locked in. £6,000 at stake. £2,500 to Katie.
Exciting.
£3,500 to Tony. 6 answers away. Let's find out if you've achieved perfection. You've changed 3. So let's deal with the ones that weren't changed first and get those out of the way, shall we? Florence Nightingale had a pet owl. Katie, you said that was true. If this turns green, you're off to a good start. Florence Nightingale had a pet owl. Is that true or false? It's true.
Yeah.
Apparently, she carried it around in her pocket, weirdly enough.
Strange.
Yeah. General Patton was nicknamed Old Blood and Guts. Katie, you went with true. Tony was happy to stick with true. We need this to turn green. Is it true or false? True. And then Perez Hilton is Paris Hilton's younger sister. Katie said this was false, and Tony was happy to go along with that. Who's Perez Hilton, if it's not younger sister, you know?
It's the guy that has the internet who does all the gossip on celebs, isn't he?
Interesting. Well, we're about to find out. If you're right, this will turn red and you'll be halfway to the money without having made any changes. So, Perez Hilton is Paris Hilton's younger sister. True or false? False. Very well done. Paris's sister is Nikki Hilton, and Perez Hilton, you're right. He's a sort of gossip blogger.
Yeah, I thought so.
So now we go to the ones that you did change. Katie, you really needed somebody to come and help you open up the board because you were convinced as soon as you said the answer that you'd made a mistake at the top there.
Yeah, as soon as I said true to Sarah Jessica Parker, I realised it was Kim Cattrall. I'm glad that Tony come down.
OK, well, let's go back up to the top then. Sarah Jessica Parker was born in Liverpool. You answered true at first, but wanted a chance to change it. Tony came down so you could open up the board, and you immediately changed that to false. We expect this to turn red for you then. If it does, you're only 2 away from the money. Sarah Jessica Parker was born in Liverpool. Is that true or false? It is false. Very well done.
I'd have kicked myself if I got that wrong.
Yeah, Sarah Jessica Parker was born in Ohio, and it was Kim Cattrall who was born in Liverpool. So that was the change you needed. You then changed another 2. Tony had an idea about 2 that he wanted you to change, so go on to the next one. Walter Cronkite was a famous physicist. You had false, but Tony wanted you to change it to true.
In trouble for this, aren't I?
You need this to turn green.
Come on.
If it turns green, you're 1 away from the money. If it turns red, the money rolls over for the usual suspects. Walter Cronkite was a famous physicist. Is it true or false? It's false. He hosted CBS Evening News for many years. Well, anyway, let's go on to the last one. I wonder whether maybe you can still achieve perfection at home. So let's have a look at this last one, shall we? A troy is a quarter of a gill. You thought this was false. Tony thought it was true, so you changed to true. Is it true or false? It's false as well. A troy is a measure of weight. A gill is a measure of volume. Well, look, you needed someone to come down to open up the board so that you could change your first answer. So you would have gone home with no money anyway if Tony hadn't come down. On the other hand, though, if you'd have been more careful about that first answer, you would have then had a complete board first time round all on your own.
I know. Oh, well.
Usual suspects, great news for you. The prize fund rolls over for the next game where one of you could be playing for a total of £7,000. Katie and Tony, you failed to achieve perfection, which means you go home with nothing other than our thanks for providing us with a very entertaining game. I hope you feel good about it. You must be feeling good about the fact you did so well at the end there.
Yeah, yeah.
And Tony, you came down and gave it a go, which is all you can do, really, when you're playing the game, isn't it?
That's true.
Let's hear it for Tony and Katie, ladies and gentlemen. That's all we have time for. Please join us next time when our usual suspects have the chance to play again. This time for £7,000. And remember, on this show, we only pay for absolute perfection. Goodbye.